All right, let's dive deep into this Robert Williams to Lakers rumor, because there's a lot to unpack here. The chatter around the NBA world is pretty intense right now, with many saying that the Los Angeles Lakers are the favorites to land Robert Williams 3. This speculation picked up steam after a trade proposal was floated, one that involves the Lakers, the Portland Trail Blazers, and even some Denver Nuggets connections. The proposal was laid out by Jake Weinbach, who suggested a package that might make the deal work on paper, but honestly, from my perspective, this trade idea doesn't sit well at all, and I'm going to break down exactly why. So here's what's on the table. According to the proposal, the Lakers would acquire Robert Williams 3, the towering center, who has been a defensive force whenever healthy. In return, the Portland Trail Blazers would receive Maxi Kleber, Dalton Knecht, and a future second-round pick in 2030 coming from the Lakers. Now, to start, it's not even clear if Portland is actively shopping Williams or willing to consider offers at this point, but it's been reported that the Lakers have made inquiries, showing genuine interest in adding him to their roster. Now, no doubt about it, Robert Williams is exactly the kind of player that the Lakers desperately need. His skill set is almost tailor-made for what Los Angeles has been lacking: elite rim protection, tenacious rebounding, the ability to defend multiple positions, shot blocking, and a physical presence that can bully opponents in the paint. The guy checks every defensive box imaginable, and at 28 years old, he's still in his prime or just entering it, making him a perfect candidate to contribute meaningful minutes off the bench or even start if needed. But here's where it gets tricky, and this is the crux of the problem. Robert Williams is an injury risk like no other. His history of availability is concerning. If we had a crystal ball and knew for a fact that he would play, say, at least 65 games next season and be healthy through the playoffs, then yes, this trade would be a no-brainer. You could give up Dalton Knecht and a future second-round pick without hesitation, because Williams' impact when on the court is undeniable. He can play around 17 or 18 minutes per game and still provide numbers that are almost video game-like in terms of defensive stats, blocks, steals, rebounds, all at an elite level. But the reality is we don't have that crystal ball. Williams' injury history means he could miss large chunks of the season or worse, never get fully healthy. The last few seasons have been rough for him in terms of games played. He's only managed around 60 games over the past 3 years, and his best single-season total is just 61 games. That's an incredibly small sample size when you're considering a key piece for a playoff contender. Compare that to Dalton Knecht, who might not be a star but is reliable and available. He consistently plays upwards of 70 games a season and can stretch the floor with his shooting. Availability is the best ability, and having a player who can be counted on night after night is invaluable. Giving up Knecht and a future pick for a player whose status week to week is a question mark feels like a risky move, one that might not pay off when you need it most. Now, some might argue that Knecht isn't a high-value player, but his consistent presence and skill set shouldn't be underestimated. Having a dependable shooter and role player who you can slot in without worrying about availability is a luxury for any team, especially one like the Lakers, who need depth to contend deep into the playoffs. And yes, while Robert Williams offers everything the Lakers want defensively, the risk of him not being on the floor cannot be ignored. It's a classic risk versus reward scenario. On paper, adding Williams alongside Marcus Smart, who the Lakers recently acquired and already has a strong relationship with Williams, creates a potentially formidable defensive duo with built-in chemistry. Smart could also be a key factor in convincing Williams to stick around in Los Angeles, which is another plus, given Williams is a free agent and could choose to leave after his contract ends. Still, that doesn't change the fact that the Lakers would be giving up the valuable assets just to roll the dice on a player who might not contribute consistently. If the deal could be sweetened, say by adding a third player like Gabe Vincent or another young contributor, then the calculus might shift in favor of making the trade. Adding someone like Matisse Thybulle, known for his perimeter defense and three-point shooting, would bring balance and value that justifies the risk. Thybulle would solve multiple problems for the Lakers, especially on the wing, providing lockdown defense and reliable shooting, to things the team has lacked recently. Combining Williams' interior defense with the Bulls' perimeter versatility and Smart's grit would give the Lakers a defensive backbone that could be one of the best in the league. That kind of defensive flexibility is hard to find and could change the entire dynamic of the team. Imagine the Lakers with a lineup featuring LeBron James and Anthony Davis alongside defensive stoppers like Williams and Thibault, plus Smart orchestrating the perimeter defense. It could push the Lakers back into championship contention, provided everyone stays healthy. That's the key condition, though, health. Without it, even the best roster on paper can crumble. So, if the Lakers could package Maxi Kleber, Dalton Connect, Gabe Vincent, and a second-round pick to bring in both Williams and Thibault, that's a deal worth considering. It addresses multiple needs at once and adds depth, shooting, and defense. That's when the trade starts to make sense, even with the inherent risks. But if it's just Williams alone for Connect and a pick, I don't see the value. That's a lot to give up for a player who may not be available for the majority of the season. It reminds me a bit of past Lakers decisions, like when they went after Mark Williams, another talented big man who was a risk but was seen as a franchise centerpiece. In that case, the overpay was justified because the Lakers were desperate for a center, and Mark Williams fit that mold. The gamble felt worth it. Robert Williams is certainly a top-tier talent and fills a glaring hole for the Lakers, but his injury history and uncertain availability make the trade a gamble. That might not be worth the cost if it's just a 1-for-1 deal. If the Lakers can add more value, build depth, and mitigate some of the risk by bringing in players like Thibault or Vincent, then the move starts to feel smarter. Until then, patience seems like the better route. Wait for the right package. Wait for more clarity on Williams' health. And don't give up solid role players or future assets on a hope that the gamble pays off. The Lakers need reliability as much as talent, and that's why Dalton Connect holds his value in these talks. That's the bottom line. Robert Williams is a perfect fit on paper, but a huge question mark in reality. The Lakers have to weigh their need for an impact defender against the cost of losing consistent contributors. And in the end, if Williams can stay healthy and the Lakers get the right supporting pieces to balance the roster, this team could be a legitimate contender once again. But until then, it's a waiting game, and any trade has to make sense beyond just one player's upside. All right, let's keep rolling and dig deeper into why the Lakers need to be extremely cautious when considering a move for Robert Williams. 3. Especially if the deal doesn't include additional pieces that can bolster the roster in multiple ways. The Lakers have been in a position where they desperately need to improve their defense and interior presence, and on the surface, Robert Williams seems like the perfect fit. He's a player who can anchor the defense, protect the rim, and bring a toughness that this team has lacked for years. But as we mentioned earlier, there's a huge question mark hanging over him: his health and availability. That's a risk that the Lakers cannot afford to overlook, especially when their championship window feels like it's right in front of them. If we step back and look at the Lakers' current roster construction, it's clear that they have a solid foundation with stars like LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But there's always been a need for reliable role players who can contribute defensively and offensively in a consistent manner. Players like Dalton Connect, Maxi Kleber, and Gabe Vincent aren't flashy names, but they provide valuable minutes, spacing, and defensive versatility. Losing them without getting a substantial upgrade in return could leave the Lakers in a worse position, even if Robert Williams' talent is undeniable. The challenge with Robert Williams is that his injury history isn't just about missing a few games here and there. It's about missing extended stretches that disrupt team chemistry and force the rotation to constantly adjust. The Lakers have already struggled with injuries over the past few seasons, and adding another injury-prone player to the mix could exacerbate the problem. It's a classic dilemma. Do you take the risk on a high-impact player who might not be available consistently? Or do you stick with steady contributors who can be counted on night after night? Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. In a development that has sent shockwaves through the NBA rumor mill, word is circulating that veteran big man Al Horford has agreed to a $5 million deal and is en route to Los Angeles to finalize a contract with the Lakers, while nothing has been officially confirmed by the team or the players' camp. Sources close to the situation suggest that the Lakers are eager to add Horford's experience and defensive presence to their roster as they look to bolster their championship chances this season. Al Horford, a seasoned NBA veteran known for his versatile skill set and leadership both on and off the court, has been linked to multiple teams over the offseason. However, the sudden buzz around a potential reunion with LeBron James and the storied purple and gold franchise has fans and analysts buzzing. At 36 years old, Horford's career has spanned over a decade with multiple playoff appearances, making him an intriguing low-risk, high-reward signing for a Lakers team that has seen its share of ups and downs. The rumored $5 million contract, while modest compared to the megadeals signed by younger stars, could provide the Lakers with much-needed front-court depth. Horford's ability to stretch the floor with his shooting, combined with his high basketball IQ and defensive versatility, would complement the team's existing core. The Lakers have been in search of veteran stability, especially in the paint, and Horford's name has been floated as a perfect fit to fill those gaps. This potential move also adds another layer of intrigue to the Lakers' off-season maneuvers. After a tumultuous season marked by injuries and inconsistent performances, Los Angeles appears ready to retool and reassert itself as a dominant force. In the Western Conference, if Horford does indeed sign, it could signal a shift towards experience and balance rather than purely focusing on star power. Fans are eagerly awaiting official confirmation as speculation grows about how Horford's arrival could affect the team's dynamics, rotations, and championship aspiration. While some question if the 36-year-old can still contribute at a high level, others argue that his savvy and steady presence could be exactly what the Lakers need in crunch time. As the story develops, the basketball world watches closely, waiting to see if this rumored signing turns into reality and how it will reshape the Lakers' pursuit of glory. For now, the buzz surrounding Al Horford's potential move to Los Angeles is one of the hottest topics in NBA circles, fueling endless debate and excitement among fans and analysts alike. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.